Why do we have to find jobs? What kind of system is this? Where does it say in the Torah, go get a job? I remember reading in the Torah that food falls from heaven to your door, and you go out and you gather it in the morning and you have what to eat all day. What's with this job? What is this going to work? Oh, it's written. It is written. God said to Adam, to Adam, by the sweat of your brow you will eat bread. It won't fall from heaven. Got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. But you see, that was the consequence of eating from the tree. In other words, it is not natural. Naturally, we shouldn't have to work. So it's very possible that this whole notion, this whole phenomenon of going to work might be fading out. First, people are starting to complain about a 6 day work week. They want a 4 day work week, then maybe a 3 day. We seem to be phasing it out. But more significantly, going to work doesn't seem to work. We can't pay our bills. So, what is the solution? Work harder? Maybe not. Maybe we're coming to that stage in history where the consequences of eating from the tree have already been fulfilled, and we no longer need to suffer with this by sweat of your brow you shall eat bread. Maybe. So maybe this thing is not so bad. People don't go to work anymore. They want to work from home. People don't want to work for a company. They want to be independent. Maybe the whole notion of work needs to be reconsidered. Do we really have to do that? Animals have their food more easily available to them, in most cases. Just go outside and get something to eat. Only human beings need to go to school in order to get a job, in order to make some money, in order to buy some food, in order to get it cooked so that they can eat it. What a torturous process. Why should the human being have the hardest time surviving? It's better than eat or be eaten. So I'm not really complaining about that. But sometimes even going to work seems like a dog eat dog. We have to think a little out of the box. It could be that the days of going to work for a living may be coming to an end. That would be good news. So, how are we going to live? Where's the food going to come from? Where was the food going to come from if Adam and Eve had not eaten from the tree? From trees. everything we would need would be growing from trees. That's why God said to Adam, of all the trees in the garden you may eat, just don't eat from this one tree, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So God is telling him where his food is, all the trees of the garden. And there was a wide variety of trees with every kind of food that the food pyramid demands. Now, if we're going to think out of the box like that, what other curse or consequence is coming to an end? The pain of childbirth? We can do without it. I mean, how long can you suffer from one fruit? That's not that's not unthinkable. In fact, it would be a good idea to start thinking. How do we get rid of that pain? Or like Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof says, would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man? Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if we could give birth without pain? Well, would that be upsetting anybody? What? No pain? Yeah, no pain. What's wrong with that? And why do you have to get up early in the morning as a child to get an education so that you can get a job, so that you can make money, so that you can have what to eat? So, realistically, we got to start thinking maybe there's a better way. Maybe this is no longer necessary. So, we have to believe that all along, these curses were really blessings because they healed us from the tree. But how long do you have to heal? It's been great, but enough already. And how important is it to think out of the box? Well, we have these bumper stickers that say, visualize world peace, imagine world peace. That's out of the box because there's never been world peace. But we can think it. We should think it. Because if you can't even think it, how are you going to do it? If you can't imagine peace, how do you pursue it? If you're convinced that it's inevitable, how hard are you going to try to stop it? We're spending fortunes of money looking for the cure for cancer. How do you know there is a cure for cancer? We don't know, we assume. How could we know? There's never been a cure for cancer. But we're absolutely confident that we'll find it. So thinking out of the box is the only way to make any real progress in life. Thinking out of the box doesn't mean try a little harder. It means try things that people believe to be impossible, like airplanes flying through the air. I'm sure people thought it was impossible, foolish to even try. That's called thinking out of the box. So in yeshiva, we read this Gemara, this discussion in the Talmud by the sages who lived 2,000 years ago in Babylonia. The discussion was, if you walk through a cemetery, you become ritually impure and you can't enter the temple. The sages ask, what if you jump over a grave but without touching it? And the answer is, you become impure. So then the question is, how high does the impurity reach? And one of the sages say, if you're in a flying tower and you fly high over the cemetery, do you become impure? And we all said, what's a flying tower? But we know it's an airplane. So 2,000 years ago, long before the Wright brothers, the sages were saying, well, what if you can get into a big thing and fly over the cemetery? Will you become contaminated? That's called thinking out of the box. So yeah, thinking out of the box it's a sign of humanity, actually. The unique thing about human beings, the difference between human intelligence and animal intelligence, is that we can think out of the box. We can think of things we never saw. We can think of things that we have no idea how it would work, why it would work, and yet we can imagine it. That's really the art of thinking. Anything you can learn through your senses, like let's go over the mountain, see what's on the other side. That's not brilliant. Animals can do that too. Let's cross the ocean and see what's on the other side. Not brilliant, because you can see it. Seeing is not intelligence. It's one of the senses. So anything we can experience with our senses doesn't take great imagination. Imagination means thinking of things you can't see, you can't touch, you can't taste, you can't hear, and you can't smell. Then what in the world are you thinking of? A concept, a possibility, an idea. That's real intelligence, which animals can't do. I think angels can't do it either. Angels can't imagine things they don't experience. So the angel of kindness understands kindness, and that's all. The angel of judgment understands judgment, and that's all. The angel of death understands death, and that's all it understands. Only the human being has imagination. And if we use it correctly, it can take us beyond our world. So we should be able to imagine a completely different kind of life. Yes, a life of peace. We'd have to get used to it. Everything would change. peacetime economy, different than a wartime economy, a world without borders. You don't need a passport or a visa. They don't have to take your picture and check to see if they want to let you into their country. All that's going to be gone. It'll be a different life. But we need to start imagining it. We need to imagine not having to go to work and yet having all the comforts of life. We need to imagine a life of sunshine without rain. Remember the book, I Never Promised You a Rose Garden? Well, why not? Why shouldn't life be a rose garden without the thorns? It will be someday. Let's start imagining it. And that, I think, is the concept of Mashiach. What does Mashiach mean to people? Whatever they can imagine a perfect life would be like. So for many, many years, the oppressed Jews of the world thought Mashiach meant no persecution. Ah, how great that would be. Can you think a little beyond that? Yeah, no persecution is okay. Is that the best you can imagine? A world without anti Semitism. Ah, what a perfect world that would be. Well, no, not if you still have pain in childbirth, not if you still have to go to work every day, not if there are still wars going on. So only our imagination limits our understanding of Mashiach. Mashiach means a world in its perfect state. How perfect? Well, get out of the box. No amount of perfect is impossible. In fact, it's inevitable. God's creation cannot be forever flawed. So it will reach perfection, whatever our imagination can tell us about perfection. How perfect is perfect? Well, if everybody is cured of their illnesses, nice, nice. But is that it? How about if you're cured from all your illnesses and worries? Oh, that would be even better. And is that good enough? How about you're cured from all illnesses and all worries and are excited about life? Yeah, that's better. Got to keep on going. Not put any ceiling or any limit on how perfect the world can be and will be. If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic and you're looking for more information or you want to hear it again from another angle, there is a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. These ideas, these messages, this approach to life, this approach to Torah, to meaning, and to morals is vital for the world today. And we need to get this message out to the entire world. It is universal, it's essential, it's indispensable. To support this effort, if you want to be a partner in this crime, check out the link and make a donation. It really helps a lot. And thank you in advance.